Good afternoon, everyone. This is Joseph here over in the Appalachian Mountains. Just enjoying this lovely summer day. If you look right behind over here, we got the beautiful river, Lake Chattahoochee. Just enjoying this awesome moment in nature, and I wanted you to enjoy it with me. So because of that, I wanted to share a personal life story that I feel would help people that are going through things in life. And sometimes, we have barriers, we have difficult moments, and just things that we go through that are really important on how to get through and handle the situations. And I feel the best thing is that sometimes we got to learn from other people's experiences, other people that go through the negativities or that may have fallen in some situations and some predicaments that may not have been eventful at the moment, but they all lead to something. Darkness always have an opportunity for light to peek through and make its entranceway for us to have things in life or get to the places of provision that we're destined to be. So, as I just stand here in nature, I wanted to express my personal story. I put it on Facebook the other day, and, I'm just thinking out loud, like, wow, it's amazing how 3 months ago, I was sleeping on my mom's couch, and I just seemed like I just couldn't get ahead, and I just wasn't getting anywhere in my life that I wanted to. Being an author, a public speaker, and someone, who writes books and helps other authors transform books into online courses, it's like, what are you doing there? And in my mind, I'm saying to myself, here you are, 38 years old, sleeping on your mother's couch, and then you start saying, like, this isn't where I plan to be. But sometimes God has us purpose to be somewhere for a legitimate reason. And that reason is taking place inside of us at the very moment that we're going through things. And like I said, it was about 3 months ago, I was on my mom's couch, and almost for over a year and a half, and it just seemed like an endless road that I couldn't escape. But one day, a friend of mine, actually a good friend of mine, Monica, had invited me to go to an event in New York City over in Times Square, and it was to see Les Brown and Bob Proctor, two very well-known, iconic figures in the motivational speaking industry. And I've always wanted to, see them speak live. And then, I had guest VIP passes. I didn't have to pay anything, and it was just really an awesome opportunity. It was a speaker's dream. But then on the other side, I had that same day that I had the invite, I was asked to go down with a friend of mine to go home, just take a random road trip, spontaneous act, to go down to Florida, West Palm Beach. And I thought to myself, oh, that'd be really cool too, because I get to see my dad, because I haven't seen him in a little while. So, and I know he's not going to be around forever. So deciding between the two, and one thing I always believe in business as an entrepreneur is that you put family first. When you put family first, it makes things, much easier, for us to, go through certain moments, because our family is what we have at the end of the day. It's all we got besides yourself. And some people don't have the family, but you know what? Maybe you're surrounded by a good circle of friends or peers that give you that influence or that internal confidence, because confidence is an internal thing. Confidence is not something you can find outside. But going back to the story is, I decided to go on the road trip with my friend. I told my friend Monica that I wasn't able to go, and I appreciated the invite. And what happened was, on our way down to Florida, I'm thinking, okay, this is really great. I have an opportunity to see my pops. But before that happened, I had been working on manifesting certain people to come into my life. And I know sometimes you got to give up something or let something else go to make room for the right things or the right people to come in. And what I did was, I ended up going down to Florida. He ended up leaving to go to California. So he said I needed to drive my truck back. So when I drove his truck back to New York, instead of driving it back and put wear and tear, I threw on an Amtrak, got to Virginia. About 11 o'clock at night. I was really tired, and I said to myself, I need to get a cup of coffee. And I went to a local Starbucks, just pulled off on the ramp, got a Starbucks, and I'm stirring my coffee, and I see a guy next to me stirring his coffee, and somebody else had just left. He makes a comment, and I said, if everybody thought positive, this world would be a better place, instead of thinking so negative all the time. And he said to me, he turned around, he goes, you're right, I wish everybody thought like that. So one thing led to another. We engaged in conversation. He asked what I do, and I said, look, I write books about other people's life experiences, and I also write books. I take authors' books and transform them into online courses of education. So he said, oh, wow, that's really cool. We exchanged numbers. Long story short, I ended up reaching out to him a couple days later. We linked up. He hired me as a book mentor. Time and time, 6-7 months go by. He's still having a little trouble going through some of his writings. And so I said, look, why don't we ghostwrite your book instead of just mentoring you, get it done sooner than later, and, you know, we can make that happen. Set up a campaign. You need a content marketing campaign for your book project. His name is Rich, by the way. So, yeah, the random guy in the headline in Starbucks, his name is Rich Glennon. And he's coming out with a book very soon, within the next 6 to 12 months, called Upgrade for Life. So definitely keep an eye out on that. But the whole point of the story is, you know, before, when I met him, it was just so random. It's just out of nowhere. You just pull off at 11 o'clock at night, I-95, you meet someone that's looking for your service. And it could be anywhere. It could be on the internet, it could be off the internet, it could be in Starbucks, McDonald's, you know, it could be in Target, Walmart, wherever it is. You just never know who you're going to meet. That's why it really is true. Be kind to people, even strangers of the unaware. And when I went down and it came back, and, you know, he ended up hiring me, and then he said, look, he's like, I want to be able to, you know, learn how this all works, and if I see it in person, because he's a visual kind of guy, and that it would make more sense to do the ghostwriting. So this was like, actually this was on a Sunday night, 9 o'clock at night till 1:30 in the morning. Him and I were talking, going over things. I said, Rich, you know, I'm going to come down, you know, I'll get down there as soon as I can. I had no idea how I was going to get down there. It just planted the seed in my mind. And I said to myself, you know, I got to make this work. I got to make this happen. The universe is going to allow it. As long as I take massive action, the results have to follow. And that's what I did. I just went, and, you know, my father had some friends that just happened to be, that lived in West Palm, that happened to be in their house in West Babylon, Long Island, New York. And he said, look, they're leaving. If you want to jump in with them, you can go. Now, mind you, I never met these people at all. So I ended up getting a ride to the house at 2 o'clock in the morning. So we're leaving 14 hours later. My dad calls me up that morning at 10 a.m., right a few hours later from when I talked to the guy, Rich. And, you know, it was a thing where I just said, you know what? I just got to go for it. So I jumped in the car at 2 a.m. in the morning, went down to Florida, West Palm, spent 3 days with my pops. After the 22-hour drive, you know, I was able to, you know, strategize and think a lot about my journey and what I'm doing. And sure enough, I ended up meeting up with Rich, had a 5-hour meeting personally at his house. I was able to land the contract and, you know, take the money from the contract. I was able to rent a car, go to the Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina, find the author's dream cabin. This place is magnificent, I got to tell you, with a nice pond in the backyard on 5 acres, surrounded by 40 acres on top of that. Just beautiful. And I wanted to just get out of New York, get out of the chaos, the rat race, and just feel more connected with nature by being out here in the wilderness, in the forest. And ever since then, I don't want to look back, and I'm not going to, because now the journey has started. I've been given enough work. In 3 weeks, landed 4 contracts for transforming books, set me up for the next 6 months. And now I just, you know, have the full-time work and able to provide and just keep going. Don't have any financial problems like I did before up in New York. So the path has been cleared. And as a result of that, it's like anything. You know, it's one thing when you get something, an opportunity, but to maintain it is a whole nother breed, a whole nother ballgame. And that's where just discipline, focus, and just staying up to par with things is what, you know, falls into perspective. So I just want to encourage you that if you're going through a difficult moment, don't worry about it. Just embrace the moment and know that that moment of opportunity is purpose for you to do something great in your life. Because I believe that you can do it, and you will do it. Just like my grandmother always tells me, you're going to make it, and you're going to make it, and there's nothing that's going to get in your way. And with all the potential that you have as an individual, you can make it. And you don't even have to make it. Just allow it to happen by just understanding and following the universal principles and measures that are just all out there in the universe. As you hear the birds chirping, you know, just nature is speaking at its own will right now as I'm making this video. And that's the nature of life. Come here, get to write on the water. You know, if I wanted to bring a canoe or just go up to the lake up here and, you know, just embrace life. It's the author's dream. It's to be in nature, in the middle of a forest on a mountaintop, and just do what you're called to do. Everybody has a purpose. You know, the question is, what's your purpose? What are you called to do in this life? And I just wanted to share this story on that massive breakthrough of going from, you know, just being broke as a joke. I left New York with literally, if I had $20, $40 in my pocket, that was a lot. And I did it on a blind whim, and I thank God for the people that allowed me to carpool with them. And, you know, just, they didn't ask for a dime. I offered and everything, and they were just so nice. And sometimes God will put people in your path that want to help you. They legitimately want to help you and see you be successful. And, you know, I'm just grateful. I feel blessed. And life is good, and just want to keep up with the momentum and continuing, you know, doing what's right. And we just got to keep doing what's right unto each other. in love and harmony, tranquility, and in peace. And just keep exchanging that love and being a prime leading example in this life. You only get one opportunity in this life, so we might as well make it right? So on that note, I'm just going to continue enjoying nature here, and just want to share my personal story. I love you guys. I love everybody. Thank you so much for all your support and all that you do. And for those that have just been there, Rich, man, you're awesome. You're a good friend, man. Outside of being a client, you're really a great person with a great heart, and I do appreciate you. And, I know you and I both have an exchange of value, as far as helping you write about your book and your life experiences and what we can do together and what anybody else can do together, just to show as an example of when two people come together, what can be done and accomplished. So I hope you're able to learn and benefit a little bit from this personal story, my personal journey. So as I go back and enjoy nature over here and maybe do a little mountain climbing on one of the Appalachians and a little trail of hiking or something, but just enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend. Much love to you all, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.